Welcome to Materials and Methods Matter. In this episode, I will demonstrate the process of drawing with charcoal by blending and building value. To begin this drawing, I used a hard charcoal pencil to sketch in my design. Next, I'm going to use that same pencil to lightly start to create value or establish my value. My highlights are going to be in this area. So I just will draw in a guideline before I begin. So my highlights will be in this area here. So our deepest shadow is going to be in this area. So let's begin. With my paper stump, I'm going to lightly, with light pressure, start to blend the charcoal that I already applied. First to the handle. And what you're actually doing is drawing with this so I can continue keeping my shape, especially when you have small surfaces such as the handle and this stem. After that, I'm going to go ahead and start lightly blending in this darker values. I'm going to continue adding some lighter value with my paper stump, but you could see that it gets quite dirty. You can just roll it over onto a clean spot, or you could take this and basically wipe off the excess onto a paper towel. That helps remove it in case as we're blending we smooth over. But with that clean area, I can come in to this, we're close to my highlights, and basically just very lightly smear some of that charcoal around. And I'm going to come back in and actually add the highlights back in. I'll show you how to do that. So let's just use our stump to lighten some of these values. Circular motion's good because it breaks up any linear effects that you already have. You can drag the dark charcoal into the lighter area. Break that edge here where we have any lines. And I can always add more charcoal to it. It's just a pain in the neck to take it all away. So I like building in layers and doing it slowly. So you can see as I'm adding or blending this in, I'm creating a softer look and also extending out the values. I'm going to continue adding more charcoal, this time with the medium hardness pencil, which is a little bit darker. But before I do that, I want to just point out a few things. I had drawn in these lines here for where my highlight was going to be. I'm going to take my Kneaded Eraser and I'm going to just dab those out because they were just guidelines. A little bit too dark. Probably should have used the stump instead, but we can erase those out. And then I will come back in and establish that highlight again. We still have it at the same place. We know where it's at. Okay, so there, I will now add, I'm going to add some charcoal here. I'm going to add here to create a little darker. I'm going to probably just add a little bit on the handle, the bottom of the spout, and where the spout connects with the picture. I'm going to just give myself a little line here for darkness. I'm going to add a little bit more value in this area. And then I'm going to come back in with my stump and get it all nice and pretty. Now, since I have this dirty stump here from blending, I'm going to go ahead and put in my shadow area with the dirty stump. So just basically using what I have on there, I'm going to go ahead and drag some of the charcoal off of the picture. My shadow starts partway through the base. And what I'm going to do is just pull this line through here. And I can add to this as I go. In fact, I'm going to go to a darker or softer charcoal pencil. I'll pick up more of that dust. This gives us a nice soft shadow. If we get smudges like that, all we have to do is come through and pull that out. So let's go ahead and add a little bit to our shadow. Another thing too, when you have a line such as this, you can come through. I drew that in with the charcoal pencils. Take your stump and just draw over it. It softens it instead of having this striking edge. To finish up, I'm going to add just a little bit more dark area where I see light spots using my softest charcoal pencil. This one actually is very dark, so I already have a lot of charcoal built up, so I don't need much. I'm just going to add in certain spots that just to kind of straighten up my drawing. And then what I'll do is I'll take my stump again, and where I put that charcoal down, blend it out. And this will only take a second. Where I have my highlights, what I will do is take a cleaner part of the stump and just rub along the whole entire edge of that. Add a little bit of charcoal in where we need to. And then you can see we have a nice light area. Now what I'm going to do is take my Kneaded Eraser and kind of shape it into kind of a cone shaped. So it's like this, and what I'm going to do is just dab like that. That's all it takes. Just dab. A little more. I'm going to dab all the way down through, and you can hear it how it's kind of sticking to the paper. Not really sticking. And then what I'm going to do is take my Kneaded Eraser and flatten into a nice sharp edge. And with this sharp edge, I'm going to come in where I had my lines here. Just see that little highlight there. It doesn't take much. You can shape, that's what's nice about a kneaded eraser, is you can shape it as you want it. So I'm going to put in a little bit of highlight there. Just a little bit, not much. Maybe a little bit of highlight here along the tip of this spout. And I see I lost my highlight going up into the lid, so we're just going to go ahead and touch that in there. And I just want to sharpen this up a little bit here. Now I have a little bit of a line here from transferring my drawing, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of charcoal there. These are just little fixes that you can do, and then I'm going to rub in the opposite direction, just like that, just to get rid of that little white line that was there. Have some light area here. I want to fix. And now, just to conclude, we want to take our kneaded eraser, just kind of go around and pick up any loose dust. As I could see it, you probably can't. Just a little bit of dust on here from drawing. Follow my edges, pick that up. Any spots. It's getting into the edge. Now where I have a lot of a bigger cleanup, I like using the MOO Eraser. It's a nice soft vinyl. I can just get right into close, and this will pick up actually any eraser dust that's out here that usually gets smeared later on. So what I'm doing is I'm just basically picking up all the eraser dust on here. Now, I do not suggest blowing this dust off because there's a lot of charcoal on here. What happens is when you exhale, you immediately inhale, and when you do that, you're going to be inhaling black charcoal. So it's best to just take this and shake it off. A lot of times I will use a drafting brush and just, you can see here how the dust just settled in there just from moving. So I'll have to go back and clean that up. But just from moving the brush close to the static of the brush picked up that charcoal. So I will just take my kneaded eraser and just clean that up. And this is our finished charcoal drawing. Stay tuned for more episodes. Materials and Methods Matter was inspired by my book, Making Art, Materials and Techniques for Today's Artist. For more videos on Materials and Methods Matter, as well as lesson plans and other instructional videos, visit Thalo.com.